The twin Tangye engine returns to my workshop. My friend James Evans recently bought this engine from a dealer, as my customer sadly died and his collection went to auction. It ran well when he bought it, but very shortly afterwards developed a serious problem by becoming very stiff. This problem was rectified by fitting new silicone piston rings, and I explained to James what has happened and why. Then I fix it. The video starts with some live audio recorded onto the camera in the workshop. Action. You and your twin Tangye engine.
Yeah.
What do you think about it?
I really like it. You know, it's a lovely thing to look at and have on the shelf back at home. Especially since I've, when I was younger, I watched the videos on it. So it's nice to own it now. Have a bit of part of it. Yeah.
I remember working on it 10 years ago when it was in a far worse state than it is at the moment. The problem with this engine is it's a big brass engine, so it's going to be a bit delicate. So I think what we need to do is tweak it and make it a bit stronger. I don't mean make new parts, but no. For instance, the connecting rods are held into the crosshead with a pinch bolt. I don't even know if that pinch bolt's got a detent drilled in it. But it wants a bit of attention. We're going to put some air into it and see what goes wrong with it. The engine does turn over, but it's very tight. And I know from experience what has caused this. James Evans. When I run steam engines that have cast iron parts, for instance the cylinder, piston, etc., I always say after a run you must inject some WD-40 and blow that out, and then inject some steam oil. This stops the engine from rusting, but rust is not a problem on a brass engine, so you really don't need the WD-40, particularly in the copious amounts that this engine is absolutely full of. And this concentrated mixture of WD-40 and steam oil is running all over the place. It's pouring out of the exhaust all over my bench. I fitted silicone O-rings to these pistons 15 years ago. And also, I remember there was a leak on one of the cylinder covers. Starting with the left-hand cylinder, I'm going to remove the cylinder cover, then take the piston out and replace the piston ring, because that will have swelled owing to the ingress of a lot of WD-40. This is the difficult part, removing the cylinder cover. I'm using a method that I use a lot, a Stanley knife blade and a small hammer, but this is a brass engine, so I've got to be really careful. And the bad news is the cylinder cover is stuck fast to the cylinder. I need to rethink this job. Because the piston rod is held into the crosshead using a pinch bolt, all I have to do is slacken off the pinch bolt and slide the crosshead away from the piston. And in between the piston and crosshead, I'm using a 3/16 coned union. All I need to do is rotate the flywheel to apply some pressure to the coned union, and guess what? The cylinder cover comes off straight away. I didn't put this in as a top tip because it's very rare that you can actually put a 3/16 coned union on the piston rod, because normally it would be screwed very tightly into the crosshead. So this was a simple job, I'm pleased to say. I have never seen so much WD-40 inside an engine cylinder. We went up to the main workshop to see if I had any 1-inch diameter piston rings, and luckily I did. If you look at these piston rings, guess which one is the one that was out of the engine? And yes, you are correct, it is the one on the right, which measures 1 inch and 1/16. Before going back into the other workshop, there was another small job to do. This is a Cotswold Heritage Perseus engine, and someone, James Evans, has sheared off completely the steam inlet to the steam chest. This was a very easy fix. I'm not going to show it at length. Suffice to say, as you can see here, I used an extractor to wind out the broken part in the hole. I repaired the old fitting and screwed it in place. After this, we returned to the other workshop to continue with the Tangye engine job. Even with one piston completely removed, the engine is still too tight, and I'm going to replace the O-ring on the other piston as well. But first of all, I need to remove as much WD-40 as I can, and I really couldn't believe how much there was inside the cylinders and generally all over the engine. After removing as much WD-40 as I could, I lubricated the cylinder and new piston ring using, wait for it, steam oil. Although I'm not going to show it in this video, I did exactly the same with the other piston, and also used some compressed air on the inlet to the water pump just to blow the inlet ball off the seat, and now it works fine. Here's a clip of the engine running, and it runs very well again. Back to a bit of live workshop audio. That's the other cylinder done. Sealant applied to both cylinder covers. The flushing of the WD-40 continues. First of all, I have a feel at it and see what it's like, and I can feel quite a lot of vacuum. Yeah, it's a lot better. Steam oil is a really wonderful lubricant. It's a very high grade lubricant. It is extremely powerful. What we need is a thing they have like in prisons, a number across your chest. It was good to see my friend James Evans looking happy as usual, and it was good to see his engine working again. And one more time, WD-40 is a water dispersant, and you only need to use this, if at all, on a cast iron engine if you're going to park up the engine after running it. That's it for this one. Stay safe, stay healthy. Thanks for watching, and I hope you found it useful. Please take the time to visit my Mainsteam Models website and click on the section of the website that says Video Playlists. And by doing that, you can find other videos that you may like to watch. And by using the playlists, you can actually watch the videos back to back.